Hey there everybody, how's it going? In my last video where I did a little bit of hiking, I showed my pouch, but I didn't really show you guys what I carry in it. Anyway, I got this pouch off of Amazon. It was like 16 bucks. It's a replacement for another one that I had that the zipper finally went out. So I've only had this out on a few excursions, you know, a few like small walks and stuff like that. So it really hadn't seen a whole lot of use, but I do like it. And it's a little bit bigger than my old other one, so I can add more stuff to it. So let's get started about what I carry in there. First off, I've got me a little cheap emergency rain poncho. It's just small. It doesn't take up a lot of room. It's a one-time use. It'll probably get ripped the first time you use it, but you know, if you're out on a trail and it starts pouring down rain, you're going to be glad you have it. But that's anyway, I've got that in there, and then I carry this portable Sawyer water filter, and it's got its own little bottle. It's a collapsible bottle, so it folds up real tight. This Sawyer will thread onto it, or a 16-ounce bottle, and you can just fill the bottle up with water at a creek or a river or whatever, and this will filter your water and make it safe to drink. The Sawyer also comes with a straw, and then it has a syringe pump that I don't carry, that you back flush, because if I'm out on the trail and I use this, you know, it's 20 bucks, and if the water bottle I have that I carry with me runs empty and I get stuck overnight or whatever, or a day or two, then you know, after I get done using this, if I don't get to flush it right away, I could just throw it out, and it's 20 bucks, but it's well worth it to carry that with you. But those are in my little bag. Excuse me. I always carry this knife on my hip no matter where I'm at, and this is my K-XX Trapper, and you could get these a lot cheaper than this particular model. This was a heritage model that I've had for 12 years now. It's high carbon steel, so you could strike a spark with a flint rock off of this blade, and you can use it to light a fire. And everything I've got here, I've kind of set up so you can operate it one-handed. Like this knife here, I can open it, and I keep this knife really sharp, and the secondary blade on there, I keep it razor sharp so that I can, and that blade right there only gets used for like skinning animals and, you know, stuff like that, so it stays sharp. And then this one here I use for everything else, but you know, I keep a real good edge on it. This knife always stays on my belt. Anytime you see me, you're going to see that knife on my belt. Okay, now from Tractor Supply, it was like 10 bucks on sale. This actually came with this bag, and it also came with this little mini mess kit, which I don't carry, but you can open the fork, and the fork detaches, and then you can open the spoon stays attached, and then you've got also a knife blade. Yeah, there we go. But it's just a cheap knife. It's, you know, it'd be okay for cutting up a steak or something, and it's got a bottle opener on the back. But I don't like it because when you use the bottle opener, it'll fold up on this blade, will fold up when you use that bottle opener. So you've got to get up here and get your hand on that blade to open it. So I really don't like the bottle opener on that. And if I really need to open a bottle, then I will use the Bic lighter trick. But this came with that little bag off of Amazon, and I don't carry this around. I throw this in my camping pack. It comes in handy there. Now this bag came with this little tool here, and on the bottom of it you can see there's a little compass, and I've actually checked this compass for accuracy, and it's pretty accurate. You can unscrew the compass, and it's got a little rubber gasket in there, and inside is a piece of paraffin soaked cotton. So if you have just this little bitty thing here, you could light a fire. The other end of it has a whistle, which is a pretty decently loud whistle, and you can unscrew the whistle. I'm unscrewing the wrong section. There we go. You unscrew the whistle, and inside there you can see it's got a little carbon steel striker. And then you unscrew the middle section, and inside you have a ferrocerium rod. And you can see it's been used, but you can thread that ferrocerium rod back onto here, and the rod will actually unscrew itself. But you thread that on there, and now you've got a handle that you can use for lighting fires. And keeping in the one-handed theme, I could find me a stick, and I could jab my knife into a stick or a log, and then I can use the striker one-handed to run it across my knife and strike a fire. So I could light a fire one-handed with just that. Now, when I went to Tractor Supply, they were selling these little burlap bags for 10 bucks that had, I think, 14 of these little round, tightly packed pieces of wax-soaked wood. And they were in a bag with this tin, and the tin had this bag of tinder, or they're like a really hard-packed cotton, and you could fray the end of it out and it'll catch a spark really good and light. And each one of these will burn for about 4 minutes, 4 to 4.5 minutes. So if I need to and it's wet, I could light one of these. It'll burn for 4 minutes, and then I can use one of these wooden logs here, break it up, and that'll burn. One of those will burn for 4.5 minutes, and these will burn for about 6 minutes. So if it's really wet, I can light a fire and get that wood dried out. Something else that this kit came with, let me take it off. I always wear this around my neck, is another ferrocerium rod, and again, you can see it's been used. So you know I'm not just like, okay, I'm buying a bunch of new stuff and showing you guys all this new stuff, and I'm not actually using it. But it came also with this striker. So you had the tin with this in it, a lot of the I guess fat wood, the striker, and the ferrocerium rod. And the striker's got a little bottle opener / wrench. And I actually found that this notch groove strikes a better spark than the sawtooth end of it. But I don't carry this on my necklace because it's uncomfortable. It's got sharp points. And besides that, if you got a ferrocerium rod, you don't have to have a knife to strike it, or a piece of steel. You can use the broken bottom of a beer bottle. You could use a piece of flint rock that's with a sharp edge. Anything harder than a ferrocerium rod with a little bit of a sharp edge or a sharp corner will strike a spark. So we've gone over that. Now I always carry my little mini mag light in my bag as well. I got this for 10 bucks at Home Depot. It's a very bright little light, and with a AAA battery it lasts a long time. But if it runs out, I've got 2 spare brand new AAA batteries in there with it. And then I carry $40 in cash in this bag, because I figure 40 bucks, you can get somewhere if you pay somebody 40 bucks and they have a vehicle. They'll take you there. A lot of people won't do it for free, but for 40 bucks, they'll take you there. I carry 2 cotton cloths in here, and they fold out pretty decent sized like that, in case in case I get cut. I can make several bandages out of that. And also, if you're out in the woods and you have a bathroom emergency, you'll be glad you had something like that with you. The little tin here, I have 100 feet of 300-pound twine. And it's like a catfish twine. If I can open it. There we go. And it's just coiled in there. And then I have, I think 6 number 2 snelled catfish hooks in there. That way, you know, if I need to, if I'm stuck overnight or whatever, I can throw me out a couple bank lines. Because I'm normally by a river or creek whenever I go do my hiking. And I can catch food. I could always find, you know, bugs and worms and stuff like that to use as bait for that. Chapstick, it you know, it works great for you know, after if you get cut and you stop the bleeding, you can put this over it to keep you know, bugs and stuff out of cuts, or you know, help keep a cut clean. And you could also put some of it on this twine, and you could take a couple strands of that twine and braid it, mash that wax into it, and you make you a little candle out of that, or you can make more fire tinder out of that. Let's move my compass over. Move my money over on the battery. And then I carry a little Swiss Army knife with me. This Swiss Army knife has a Phillips screwdriver, a straight screwdriver, an awl, you know, an owl punch, it's got a can opener, a bottle opener, corkscrew. It's got a large blade and a small blade, and I keep it razor sharp. And it also has, let me open it, one-handed. Come on. There we go. But it's also got a small saw blade. And the back of this saw blade has a real sharp 90-degree angle on it, or, you know, a real sharp flat back. And this works really good for striking your ferrocerium rods, or notching sticks, cutting down small trees, or what have you. And I also carry 2 little baggies of wet fire. And this wet fire works really good. If it's rainy or whatever, you can get one of these to strike a spark, and you can light one of these wet fires. These wet fires burn for about 8 minutes, and you know, they work really well for lighting fire in wet conditions, because these can be wet and they'll still light on fire. And then I carry a Bic lighter in this little bag as well. Bic lighters, you know, you don't always need to use a ferrocerium rod to light a fire. Bic lighters work great, but if this lighter gets soaking wet, then I'll start using my ferrocerium rods. And something else I always carry in my pocket, day or night, it's not in the bag, this is always in my pocket. This is a Coast brand flashlight that you can get at Home Depot. They're like 20 bucks. Click on, click off. They're waterproof. They got seals in the top and bottom. And it's a LED, so the bulb lasts forever. And the battery doesn't burn out that quick. So you switch it on. And what I like about this is I can adjust the beam just by sliding the end of the light. And this takes 1 AA battery, and the battery, like I said, lasts forever. And if you look at the clip is designed to where you can hang it light down in your pocket, cap up, or you can use the clip the other direction, and you could clip that on the bill of your hat. That way, if you need to you know, try to get a fire going or something like that, and it's after dark, you can clip this on your hat and you have both hands free. And it's a really handy little light to have and carry around in your pocket. It comes in handy quite a bit. Like, say for instance, you're in a store in the bathroom and the power goes out. What are you going to do? You don't have a light. A lot of times You know, some people even leave their cell phones in their cars. But if I have this little light in my pocket, I can find my way to the door, find my way out. No problems at all. Or if you're out in the woods and you're hiking and it gets dark, you can use this for signaling. You can use it for finding your way out. And if this battery goes dead, then I have my little mini mag light as well, and 2 spare batteries. And these batteries should last 4 to 6 hours each of constant use. So with the lighting that I carry, I can have light all night long. But anyway, you know, that's what I carry in my little bag, and that's what I take whenever I go hiking, you know, camping. It stays in the hammock with me when I hammock camp. It goes in a kayak with me. If I'm out in the woods riding 4-wheelers and trails, it goes with me. Cutting firewood, if I throw it in my truck on the way to work, take it in the house when I go home. You know, the bag's just always with me, but it's not always like on my hip if I'm in a store. But there you go. There's the complete contents of what I carry around whenever I go and walk in the woods. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Sorry the video went a little bit long, but, you know, anyway, there's probably thousands of videos like this online, but this is just what I do. This is what I carry. This is what comes in handy for me. And I guess we'll see y'all later.